What up, Jumzy here, and welcome back to another Dead by Daylight video. Today, I'm gonna be reworking the ghost face, the shape, and the trapper. I hope you enjoy. So first up, we have the ghost face. Now right now, his power is alright, but it's obviously not very good. The marking mechanic isn't really good, as it only exposes the survivors. Because of this, I added some effects. New. Whenever the ghost face reveals a survivor, they suffer from status effects, incapacitated, blindness, and +1 hindered every 10 seconds. This will make it way more useful to actually stalk also injured survivors, and just in general. You also get slower the longer you are exposed, which is also a nice buff. However, it is a small number, so it shouldn't change too much. New. Whenever the ghost face reveals a survivor that is working on a generator, that generator will explode, losing 20% of its progress and be blocked for 15 seconds. So this is basically Base Kit Driver's License, which is an add-on for the ghost face, and it will make it way more useful to actually stalk survivors once more. For now, you already have the effects, which is really nice, but you also have this kind of gen slowdown / gen regression base kit when you actually stalk, or I guess reveal, survivors that are working on generators. Then I also made a new ability for the ghost face. When pressing Control while not doing any action, you activate this ability. Whenever in this ability, you become partially invisible with smoke or fog. You are 4.8 meters per second, but you cannot see, but can hear, survivors. You get built-in Bloodhound, and scratch marks will spawn more frequently, become more brighter, and stay for 20 seconds instead of 10. When pressing M2 while in this mode, you can track scratch marks, similar to stalking. Whenever you track scratch marks, they will stay for 30 seconds longer, no matter if you are in this ability. If the scratch marks connected to a running survivor have been tracked for long enough, all scratch marks that survivor leaves behind for the next 60 seconds will have all previous effects, no matter if you are in this ability. Any survivor perks that suppresses scratch marks will also not work while your scratch marks have been tracked. Obviously, a new ability is really nice for this killer, and this gives another secondary objective, or I guess a more stalking / tracking survivors. I find this to be a fairly balanced but really fun mechanic. It might be a little tricky though to actually implement it. And the nice thing about it is that it also actually helps you when you're not in your ability, as you can, see the scratch marks if you've stalked them for long enough. Now next up, we have the shape. New. While stalking for at least 1, 2, or 3 seconds, you get the undetectable status effect, which lingers for 1, 2, or 3 seconds. Now I didn't really know whether to put here 1, 2, or 3 seconds, that's why I put all of them, as I don't really know what is the most fair or balanced, but they can obviously just tweak it a little bit so it will be more balanced. But I do think this will be a really great addition. His power doesn't have any other undetectable things, and this perfectly adds that in. Change. The further away you're stalking your prey, the faster your stalk meter fills up, with a multiplication of, for example, 1.5. This means that it gradually stalks faster the further you are. This is obviously something that almost every single one wants in this game, as it doesn't make sense that the stalk goes faster when you're closer. And it will be really cool to do like a cross-map stalk or something, and it's just it makes way more sense. Now I also made some changes to every single tier. Tier 1, buff. Increased movement speed from 4.2 meters per second to 4.4 meters per second. Buff. Increased launch attack from 0.2 seconds open time to 0.5 seconds open time, which is the normal launch range. To me, it's really weird that you're so bad in the beginning of the game, and I feel like a little bit faster is fair. Also, the launch attack is just really weird, especially for like scratch mirror or something. Tier 2, buff. Increased launch attack from 0.5 seconds open time to 0.55 seconds open time. Buff. Increased window vaulting speed from 1.45 seconds to 1.4 seconds. New. Increased default breaking speed of pallets, breakable walls, and generators by 5%. This will make tier 2 a little bit more than just a normal standard killer, as before it was kind of just like a bridge between tier 1 and tier 3. Tier 3. New. The shape gets built-in Bloodhound. New. Survivors now suffer from the blindness status effect while inside of the killer's terror radius. New. Whenever the shape kicks a generator, it will remove 7.5% of progress instead of 5% and get blocked for 10 seconds. This will make tier 3 not just for insta-downing, and will have a little bit more meaning and be more strong and more powerful. For the shape, I also made a new ability. The shape can now press Control when looking at a survivor further than 15 meters away to make them their obsession. This has a cooldown of 60 seconds. This is however a different mechanic than the already existing obsession mechanic, so I might have to change the name for it. Whenever you're the obsession, your aura is revealed to all other survivors, and you suffer from the blindness and incapacitated status effects. Your vision will also be slightly worse, in between normal vision and the Nightfall's vision of the Dredge. On top of that, your aura will also be revealed to the shape for 3 seconds every 45 seconds, as long as you are outside of his terror radius. This also means in tier 1 this effect will always happen, as the shape does not have a terror radius in tier 1. The obsession only changes whenever the shape makes someone else the obsession, whenever the obsession goes into the dying state, or when the obsession interacts with one of the new interactables on the map. There are only a set amount of interactables that can only be used once each, after which they will be disabled for the remainder of the trial. In my opinion, this is a very cool ability. It adds a way more lore accurate obsession mechanic, which also immediately adds another objective to do. It's not too strong, but also not too weak, and it's easy to get rid of it. Now obviously there might be some tweaking to the numbers and everything, because it might not be completely balanced, but I do feel like this, just like this, is already pretty balanced. Next up we have the Trapper. Now the thing with the Trapper is that he's obviously Dead by Daylight's poster boy and the iconic character of DBD. His power is relatively simple and not too complex, making it easier for newer players to understand. So now I don't necessarily think the Trapper should be reworked, but it's still fun to fantasize. So basically, instead of the normal traps you'd have now, there are 3 new traps. The information traps, the stealth traps, and the heavy traps. Information traps are traps placed on the side of an object or a wall with an invisible laser of 5 meters. Whenever a survivor touches the laser by any means, they will be 5% hindered for 50 seconds, their aura will be revealed to the Trapper for 5 seconds, and the Trapper will be notified with a sound. The laser will then become red for 20 seconds, after which it will turn invisible again. Stealth traps are traps that are 2 times smaller than the normal traps, and will take on the approximate color of the ground it's laying on. Whenever a survivor steps into a stealth trap, they will get trapped in it, obviously. Everything works the exact same as with the normal traps before this rework, but the Trapper will get the undetectable status effect for as long as the survivor remains trapped in a stealth trap, with the effect lingering for 3 seconds after the survivor frees themselves or gets freed from the stealth trap. Heavy traps are traps that are slightly bigger than normal traps and are slightly darker. Whenever a survivor steps into a heavy trap, they will get trapped in it, obviously. The Trapper won't be able to see the trapped survivor, but will hear them scream. The trapped survivor will suffer from the blindness status effect for as long as they remain trapped. The survivor is unable to free themselves normally. Instead, they have to use a new spawning interactable special item to free themselves or someone else. When the survivor frees themselves or gets freed from a heavy trap, they will immediately go into the dying state. So basically, the information traps are to see where the survivors are without actually trapping them. The stealth traps are traps that are smaller but more hidden and will have the same effects as normal traps. And the heavy traps are bigger, more dangerous traps, but you don't know where the survivor is trapped. Now the amount of traps the Trapper gets or where they spawn is something I don't know, as this rework is very unrealistic, as again, the Trapper is supposed to be the easiest or first killer you play, and this rework makes this killer a lot more complex, even though it would be cool to see something like this happening in the future. That's gonna be it for today. I really hope you enjoyed. Please let me know down below your thoughts and your rework ideas, and I might make a part 2. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!